UFC 321, 321. Was it the best card? Not necessarily. What is controversial in many ways? Yes, it was. Were there good fights? Yes, in my opinion. So yeah, let's waiting for people to come in and let's talk about it. First thing, the main fight of the evening: Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. A lot of people having clash on that one. You know, some people say hi there. Some people say that, oh, Tom just used it as excuse. Some people legitimately, I think, understand more how like horrible the eye poke, deep like eye pokes are. So let's talk about it. You know, like I just want more people to come in this live. I'm doing well, thank you. Maybe adjust the camera a little bit. Yeah, but yeah. Let's start from, I'll tell you my favorite fight, actually, and those are from prelims. Ludovic Klein versus Mateusz Rebecki. I think that was one of the best fights to me. Klein was doing amazing job, beautiful boxing. I didn't follow on those two that much, but I think both were great. Rebecki, like a rock, strong pressure, third round, he took it, but that wasn't enough. Klein did a great job. Yes, Parish, I recognize you. You're coming on my live streams quite often. Anyways, guys, yeah, that was my favorite fight. Mackenzie Dern versus Vinra Jandiroba, also good. Highest intensity. Girls were just non-stop and howdy, how you doing? Anyways, there are not many viewers yet, but I'm already talking about the fights. Let me just see if the connection is good. Well, it's 11 viewers now. Okay, that's more than enough to talk about it. How are you today? I'm doing well. I'm quite okay, but I stayed up till 4 a.m. in the morning Vietnamese time to watch both prelims, at least part of the prelims, few fights, and then the main card. So yeah, who else watched the event and what do you think about it? I think there are a lot of things to discuss. Bonjour to de Paris. Hi, hello from Vietnam. But yeah, anyways, let me just readjust the camera a little bit. Yeah, that is good. So, what I don't like, coffee and 10K job, you'll be fine. How many languages do you know? 3. Georgian, Russian, and English. More viewers coming. Guys, what do you think Tom versus Cyril? What was that? I have my opinion, and I'm gonna break it down to you from the sports perspective, health perspective, and you know, all the controversy and what do I think about it. But well, feel free to say your opinion. It's funny when I talk about something else, people ask me UFC questions. When I have specific UFC dedicated live, people ask me about something else, which is fine. I'm ready to respond to all the questions. As a fans, it's time waste. Well, I mean, everyone. The main event. I think that was one of the big, the worst ending. But I don't blame Tom in this one. It is what it is. But I don't agree completely with people just calling him a paper champ, all that kind of stuff. So I'm ready here to share my opinion and break down and talk about it, you know? Hello, hi. Most of the Georgian people know Russian, a lot. My younger generation more lean towards English. I also learned English by myself, but I speak Russian because of they speak in the family. My mom is Slavic, basically, so. I think he did the right thing in stopping the fight. The other guy nearly took his eyes out. Exactly. And let me tell you, a lot of, even former UFC fighters and people in the field been saying, oh, if you're a champ, you have to go. He would lose. The only person I remember who had the eye poke in the second round, honestly, before making that live, I kind of checked it, double checked. It was GSP against, I forgot the guy's name, but he had the eye poke and he still won the fight by decision. But that's it. Pretty much everyone who gets the eye poke, rather in the earlier rounds, especially in the earlier rounds or later, they lose. They lose because I don't think you guys understand, or some of the guys, I don't think some of the people understand broken bone or like, you know, something dislocated. It is a little bit different. It's painful, but you're under the adrenaline. It's still, there are certain injuries that you can manage with. Even like people fight with broken arms or ankles. Ludovic Klein's ankle actually broke, but he still managed to survive the third round. That was a prelim fight. If you've seen that, it was a great fight. Eyes are different. If you get, and that was double push, and a lot of people say, oh, that's a wrong eye, and both got pushed, but it was because of the camera angle. I clearly saw that the left eye got at least as damaged as the right, and well, what can you say? The guy was like, you know, covering. I don't see the reason why would he lie about the eye or something. Clearly to him, the left one. So I think it was just the camera angle showing that, oh, the right, the left one, or right, the other eye, the finger was a little bit deeper, but there was poke, double poke, and that was, I think, I never seen that. I've seen like a poke to one eye, but like his hand positioning, that was very unprofessional, and it's hard to say if it was intentional or not, but clearly this is a bad habit. Like this, trying to jab away like that, this is a bad habit, you know? So at least at the very least, it's unprofessional. So people are crazy for thinking Tom looking for a way out. Yeah, like the guy was clearly frustrated, clearly pissed off. And I'm not saying Gan did that like intentionally, but come on, this, like you have to have at least curl your fingers, you know what I mean? To be ready, but this is not acceptable. This is like, I would not actually blame if they did disqualification, but they probably just did, yeah, you know, like they're gonna just do the rematch once the Tom recovers. And I hope his eyes are fine, because this is, I have a minus in my eyes, wearing contacts, so I imagine how, if someone poked me in the eye like that, I would be fucking pissed off, okay? And that I wouldn't continue fighting, because I want to see my children, I want to see the world and like, you know, nature. I don't want to sacrifice so don't forget it's still sport, guys. Regarding a lot of people are saying, let me just go through the comments and I'll tell my opinion regarding the first round, who was winning. It was a very close round, by the way, and I looked at the stats, and stats can be slightly mistaken, but I'll talk about it in a bit. Let me look at the chat. If you ever poked your eyes before you can open your eyes for at least 15 minutes. Exactly. That's a good point. Miocic versus DC3. Well, what happened? DC lost. That's unfair advantage. Come on. Like, it was not... he also looked at his corner. His corner was like, yeah, it's no. Then they rewatched it, and the crowd's reaction changed slightly there, because there was actually, come on, like you can say call Tom a puss, but then you're an amateur. Then you never actually have fought in your life. Aspen is a cursed fighter. Okay, you know what? If you tell me to shut up, I'm just removing you. Because no disrespect here, okay? Here we are. Okay, but let's be. I'm not saying. Let's talk about fight. I think it could be a first fight for Tom that wouldn't finish in the first round. Let's give Cyril his credit too. I think he was in top shape. I think he was doing a great job. If you look at the stats, it was almost entire first round. It was like 30 or something seconds left when the eye poke happened. If we take a compound, Cyril technically was winning, but by small difference, because his body kicks, he had more landed and thrown body kicks and the leg kicks. From the other hand, that was 51 against 27, I think, on the Tom's side when it comes to the head kicks. So I think it was and could be very close round. And then it could be like there were 4 rounds ahead. People who think that Tom couldn't, it doesn't work that way. We cannot speculate based on the first round. All we could say, and all conclusions I can make regarding that is that could be a very interesting and maybe toughest fight for Tom. But it also doesn't mean that, I think people expect him to finish fights, all the fights in the first round. And then, now he lost or was a little bit behind on the first round and he just used it as an excuse. But it doesn't work that way, guys. I think Cyril's in top shape, but that I don't understand. Did he want to push his face away? You can push with a slight, like a jab away. You can do a pushing jab. Which he did a good job on countering, though. Again, he was ahead on the body shots and the leg kicks. Tom was still ahead on the head kicks, head punches. Your favorite fighter? I'm from Georgia. Merab, Ilya, one of my favorites. Alex Pereira, and there are many fighters that I do like. Getting your eye poked in the fight is different in amateur fighter and sucks your eye waters for a really long time and vision is gone or blurred. Exactly. Then it also increases the risk. So apart from the health risks, and as in not any human being, thinking and making that choice, okay, rather I just go and prove that I'm a gladiator, but most likely lose, because statistics show the people who got poked in their eyes and had decided to continue despite the blurry vision, they lost. And that would be a stupid move. Why? It's still a sport, guys. This was completely banned, right? This was something that was not right on the Cyril side, and rather he did it by accident or intentionally. The double poke leads me to question some stuff, but it could be in inertia. He could be he got the Tom and then he wanted to push him away, so it kind of gets you can see the double movement there, which made literally his fingertips go in both eyes, and because of the angle, again, people speculate of the eyes, which eye got damaged more. And also people him covering. Yes, that's what you do whenever I hurt my eye or my lens falls out. I always because it with a blurry vision you get disoriented, and that's a good point. In amateur fights, it's also different when you're at that level and you have heavyweight titans with the Cyril Gane has also bigger reach than Tom Aspinall and long fingers. That was a nightmare. Come on, guys. Let's not. It's easy to call someone a pussy who was a dominating and now but don't be a hater. Have you seen Alex Pereira comment? Well, he took an opportunity to call out the Jones to make the heavyweight like great again, which is, I mean, I don't blame him. But here we're talking about actually what happened and what damage Tom got and how fair it even was. And oh, you gotta push through. Push through what? You basically getting blinded, and your vision, even if it's not, if the retina is not damaged, you're gonna have blurry vision entire thing, and your eyes is the main thing to, you know, react to your opponent. Like that, to me, it was a complete legit reason to do, and they did no contest, meaning they could disqualify Cyril. Also, it happened in the first half of the fight, right, guys? So because of that, usually they would call the non-contest. If that would be later, then Tom probably had to push through, right? But yeah, I'm just saying that it's no joke. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. Let me see through the chat. I bet it wouldn't be saying if the Tom was winning the fight comfortably and got poked in the eye and fight got stopped. I understand that, but well, there would be, and I'm pretty much sure that would be a first fight that wouldn't finish, not first, but like, I think that Tom has all fights finished like in the first round. Correct me if I'm not mistaken, but it could last longer, okay? It could last longer, and that could be a challenge, and I think that could be a great fight. What's wrong in, like, people saying, oh, he would expose? No, when you have a good opponent, and Cyril was well prepared, nothing against that, could be a great fight, but that open hands to the face, I mean, it's rather unprofessional or intentional. There are no other ways. Like this, you don't do that, like, you don't do that to your opponent. It's dirty. It's dirty in any way, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Hello, greetings, hi. What's your take on archery or fun activity training? You mean archery like throwing arrows? I think that's cool. I'd love to try, but never thought about it that much. Jones made Gunn look like a child, and Tom couldn't get him like that. Again, it's a little bit of MMA math. It really depends. Like it's different. Sometimes fighters are better. With that logic, you see first the fight with Ankalaev Pereira, and then the second fight. It's not necessarily a factor. Cyril was prepared very well, and I think that fight would last definitely longer than first, maybe even second rounds. But that one we can only speculate. It was almost an even, and there were some seconds left. If Tom, like if that eye poke didn't happen, it could be an even round very easily. And because Tom is champion, maybe even could give it to him. Headshots, Tom was ahead. Body and leg kicks, Cyril was ahead, according to the stats, UFC stats. Imagine being her husband. I have a husband, he's a big guy. I train him to do with boxing and stuff. He guides me on nutrition and helps me with a lot of strength training, so I think we're quite great. And it's not on Tom Aspinall too. I don't know. The guy had 100% a finish rate, like knockouts and submissions, up until this point. Quite a good winning streak. Definitely well-rounded fighter. No one is perfect, but like you look at the numbers, of course you hype him up. Because he's also likable, like he's not a bad guy, he's quite likable. So I don't think he's necessarily overrated. If we talk about Jones, I think Jones is one of the best fighting IQs anyways, but the guy definitely had he was playing dirty, a lot of eye pokes from the Jones side. He had failed drug tests. So is he clean? And especially later years, is he overhyped? Yes, I think he was overhyped because, well, even and now this is not excuse for Jones to be, oh, you see, like I would have beaten him. That's not how it works. Like I think Jones is gonna ruin his sort of like his legacy in his own right if he doesn't fight Tom. That's what I think. If he wins, great. Then he proves that even at the older age, I think Tom is 32 and Jones is like 38 or something. So he's older. He would prove that he's one of the best, you know, at least in his own right, and keep his undefeated record. So now there's a chance that they would use because of that situation. I hope and I think that Dana said that the Gunn versus Aspinall rematch can happen as soon as Tom recovers, because I think that damaged quite of the event itself, and a lot of fans were frustrated because of this outcome. But now it's getting, I think it's a higher chance that we're gonna see Jones versus Pereira. Most likely Jones wins in a heavyweight, in a maybe White House card. I love Pereira, but I think Jones wins. And yeah, I mean, and you're gonna use the situation against Tom that, oh, you see, I finished the guy like in the first round and first 2 minutes, and Tom got eye poked, like he had to stop the fight because of that. I think it's quite unfair though. If Gunn gave Aspinall trouble, but Gunn gave no trouble to Jones, then if we do the MMA match, Jones destroys Aspinall? Not necessarily. You know how MMA must work. Sometimes it works like 1, 2 plus 2. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Oh, great. My husband is here. Tom is a great fighter. Jones was ducking him for a good reason. Again, and now Jones has a little bit of skill, but again, it doesn't work, guys, that way. Doesn't work. There are a lot of situations where, you know, fighters win over fighters. It's like, actually, I can tell you a big boxing example. Ali lost to Fraser. Then Fraser lost to Foreman. Ali comes and beats Foreman. How does the math work now? You know what I mean? Those situations happen, and it's that like UFC math as called doesn't work always exact way. But yeah, that round was close. Stats, like according to UFC stats, Aspinall had way more, like 51% advantage in the headshots, but Gunn compensated it through the body kicks and low kicks. So that's why it was leaning towards the Gunn, but it was very close, and then this happens, and this is no joke. Like people saying that, oh, it just his eyes got poked. Eyes are one of the softest, most vulnerable. Yes, they're like the protected by the bones and the muscle tissues around. But if you have open eyes, it's worse. But like if the finger is coming towards you, you automatically close your eyes as the like protection. It just happens, but it's still not a big difference. It's still super damaging. You're cute. Thanks. We're shaping up to be a really good competitive fight. Just unfortunate what happened. Exactly. That's a good point. What time is here? Someone is asking. 6 p.m. exactly. Gunn did what Jones would have done. Yes, that's fair enough. And okay, what do you think? Was it intentional and was it a mistake? But to me, if you're a professional fighter, This in UFC should be unacceptable. Unless you're pushing the body away, you can push the head away, like when you want during the grappling you want to push away your opponent. That is different. But when you have a striking, you are jabbing this, and then you keep pushing. This shouldn't be like allowed. I wouldn't be frustrated if Cyril got disqualified. No contest is okay, fair-ish, but this is just unacceptable. Thank you very much. Hi, and thanks for being here. Pereira was injured first fight and Alcala was injured the second fight, so the logic is flawed. Against Jones had his literal way was gone. Tom was just running around and looked like he was having trouble. Not really. I cannot tell you that. Cyril was doing great on the countering, but again, his stats on the headshots were lower. He was countering a lot with the body shots, which is good, low kicks as well, but it's not like Tom did not do anything. He was a little bit behind, both on body shots and significant body shots and low kicks. Headshots, he had more headshots. He caught Cyril way more on the head. Cyril did few accurate punches, and like that's why they say he broke his nose. Not necessarily, it can be just a septum shift. I had that before, so it's different from like a broken nose. Blood, again, if blood would determine being in a trouble, then Nate Diaz would be like a total loser. Diaz brothers, for example, you know, they're quite bloody fighters, but it doesn't determine a damage necessarily. Few clean shots is enough. But stat-wise, Cyril was behind on the headshots. Okay, Jones caught him, so it was an exchanging fight. I think Tom realized that fight wouldn't be necessarily first round, and well, they were going well. I think Gunn got caught on a couple combos too, which put him in a position. Okay, I'm gonna counter it, but then this is what happens. Like, this is how he jab it again. Like, you in MMA, knowing that the fingers are open, just so you can grab your opponent, do the takedowns. You cannot have fully extended hands. This is not how you do it, because that's almost pretty much lays on your eyes, and you saw the slow motion. Come on, guys! When you saw the slow motion, even the crowd was like, "Ooh, okay, that was not good." And because of the angle, people think that the other guy got damaged more, not the one he was covering. But I think it was just because of angle. Both, to me, were poked quite hard, and his eye that was hurting was like literally double push in. And I hope he doesn't have I hope it's not like a retinal damage or anything like that, because this itself blurred his vision and would blur his vision for entire fight. This is how it works. The eyes would, and if you cannot see, that's it, you lose. That would be a very unfair, very stupid advantage to Cyril Gunn throughout the fight. And Tom would lose for what? Because he got eye poked. Because first round was close, and it could be a very cool fight on the ground, and that's what he tried to push more. I think that Tom was still doing a good job on pressing, and essentially he would, at a certain point, took the fight to the ground, and we know he's better on the ground. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. So, but that's just facts, and I'm saying this as a huge Jones fan. Yes, my husband, and I think, Prime Jones was something else, but he has his flaws, and let's not be biased here. Well, Tom could not use his wrestling powers, so when Jones was able to very easily, obviously, it's not certain, it's just MMA mass, but you do have admit its compelling argument. Well, Jones at his prime, I'm telling you, one of the best IQs, one of the best fighters out there. Definitely not perfect, has his own flaws, failed drug test, also playing dirty. But this first round, it was not as serious trouble for neither. I think Tom just realized that he would have to push the pressure, and I think he was doing a moderate pressure in the first round. There is no point trying to wear yourself out, trying to get that takedown, and then gas out the entire other rounds. When you realize that, okay, he's good, and it might go longer rounds, you're not trying to go full pressure, trying to do takedown, trying to take the fight to the grounds from the first round. So also he was bleeding and he was like, so logically speaking, that could start from round 2, round 3, more pressure. Tom just could do that. I'm not serious. Cyril was very well prepared, but it won't take him to the ground. We know he's not as good on the ground as Tom Aspinall. It's just like he's a very good striker. He would try to strike out. He would try to do the takedown defenses. But at some point, it could go. So it could be a very interesting fight, shortly speaking. But once the people say that, oh, because Jones did that. Well, Jones did that. You won. Great. Does it mean that Tom would lose that fight and he's weak? Not necessarily. Cyril was very well prepared, countering good. Still, not too much to the head. Tom was applying more punches and more pressure to the upper, the head area. And then he got almost held like a bowling ball, literally with his in his eye sockets. And what can you do? Jones is already GOAT, whether he ducks Aspinall or not. As I said, he's been one of the greatest talents as well, but it's definitely creates a little controversy around his legacy. Sorry, not sorry. And it doesn't mean that he's still not one of the prominent and greatest. It just, when you talk about greatest of all time, to me, it's like Alexander Karelin, and that's wrestling. And yeah, it's different. We're more shorter rounds. It's less damaging to the, but still, I'm just saying it's total dominance, right? Now, it's a little bit in Jones' case, he's just being cherry picking his fights in the last few years. Opinion on Dagestan wrestlers and the Indian champions who beat them. I'm not so sure what you're talking about. I'm really not, so give me some example. Closed eyes and it wasn't deep. Tom was fine and had quite the fight. I just I don't wish you that ever happened to you, but if you ever experience that, then you could talk about it, okay? This is not how it works. It was deep. It was literally double push in, and it 100% blurred his vision. When he says, I cannot see, it doesn't mean that he got blind, completely blind, black in his eyes. It's not that necessarily, but his vision was would be blurred entire fight, and it would cost him the win. Everyone who got poked, except GSP, everyone that I remember who got poked in their eyes was Woodley and was Bisping, and they're, well, Cejudo. They're most of them lose, whether it's in the first round or last round, they lose. And especially if it's first round and you have to deal with it the entire round. How is that fair? Gunn had years to work on his takedown defense. He eye pokes and groin kicks in every single fight. Yeah, that's not good. It's a very good habit, and unfortunately, like, I think it should be a little bit stricter. That should have been a disqualification and then a rematch. So fighters are literally training to not do those dirty moves intentionally or unintentionally. Tom will retire saying he has irreparable damage to his eyes in a week. LOL. Well, I hope not, but I couldn't blame him. Bisping retired when he realized that he already was blind on one eye, then because like we learned about it later. But he was like, I don't want to get blind completely. I want to see the world, right? I want to be able to see. It's super, super depressing. Just become blind because of fights. Warrior mentality, everything is good. Sport is good. You know, proving yourself is good. But come on, you gotta live your life. You want to see your kids. You want to see your grandkids. You want to experience things. And unfortunately, we don't have like it might get within a few years soon that they can rebuild the eye, and you know, like from the scratch, and give people the vision, their vision back. But the medicine science is not at that level. So it's one of the things we've got to take care of. Even as a Frenchman will tell you that Cyril is wrong and Tom didn't quit because he was losing the fight. It was first round, super close. Tom has advantage on the head kicks. Cyril had slight advantage on the body shots and leg kicks, and that's why it was slightly stats are leaning towards the Cyril. But it was technically first round was close, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think everyone wanted finally Tom having a fight that is not just him finishing someone in the first round, right? And that will be good. Jones, Anderson, Silva, Pereira, etc. Legends of the sport, but Tom is not. Well, say whatever. He's a great fighter at the very least. You cannot just discredit him as like just being a casual. Aspinall set up the eye poke. Okay. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. A little bit behind on the chat. Oh, shit, I'm behind on the chat quite. We all saw it, bro. You gotta stop copying. You all put your hope on Tom, and he got fraud checked, and he wanted out. I actually didn't care personally who would win. I wanted to see a good fight, but I think you're just like people who talk shit like that. You're just like couch potatoes who are like never had a fight, never sparred, never actually experienced an actual damage in the fight. Don't understand how physiology works when your eye is getting poked like that, how it blurs your vision, and that vision is one of the biggest main factors for. So like it would be Tom definitely would lose if it continued fighting like that with that disadvantage. And then how in the world would that be fair? If that didn't happen, I think there will be a cool fight and could even go either way, but that's what people wanted to see. But what Cyril did, let's stop excusing the dirty moves, and let's actually point out and make it a little bit stricter. So people who have that tendency to do that, just train, like, you know, break the habit and train the way that they don't do that anymore because of strict rules or something. Okay. Jones fought against all dudes with height and reach well in pants. I had the Canva, had it too many times. So yeah, 3 failed drug tests. So definitely, especially the later years, yeah, not very good. But still, I'm not going to discredit Jones completely. I still think he's one of the best fighting IQs ever, and definitely super prominent. But yeah, he has his own flaws, and people who are literally worshipping Jones and neglect those facts, they just neglect facts. It's not objective. Okay, you can love fighter, but point out their flaws, and there is nothing wrong with that. What about the Alexander versus Almeida decision? Well, what Almeida did, he was just standing. He wasn't going for a finish. He was just holding him on the ground, and that is completely unfair. Like, then what? Then some BJJ guy can just hold me down there and just win by control. So I was actually happy a little bit that Volkov won, because he actually tried to get damage even from the ground position. It was still one of the worst fights on the card, like not one, worst fight on the card, but I think it was a little bit good lesson to Almeida to that you can just hold your opponent and hoping to win. Dominic Reyes beat Jones. Watch it. Very close fight. Yeah. Maybe a little bit not beat, but definitely that was one of his toughest fights, and he was very hesitant in that fight because Reyes was giving a trouble. No doubt on that. Cyril was already pissing him out. Well, it was close round, I told you, and 51% against 27 on the Tom side to the head shots, and then on the body shots and leg kicks, Cyril had the slight advantage, and against just total mass was leaning against by the almost the end of the round, slightly towards Cyril. But that round was close. If that fight would continue, that would just be like kind of, or it can go either way. And we don't know, but the fact what Cyril did was completely wrong. Rather, it was intentional. He apologized, yes, but having that habit, come on, just break the habit, work on, train on it. You cannot do that. You cannot just do that and, kind of neglect it and, okay, that's us, and apologize every time, for example. That's just not right. My husband says, and heavyweight Tom is way more proven than Jones. I'm a huge Jones fan, and gun with Tom was a close fight, well, close first round, but to say Tom quit is ridiculous. Yeah, because you never experience it. It's interesting how so many people are biased, even after showing this. That was one of the most brutal eye pokes. It was literally double eye poke. It's like him trying to get Cyril trying to get the bowling ball. It was deep in and then pushing out, you could see. But I think both eyes got poked, but because of the angle, it was shown that the other was more poked. But apparently the other eye was it right eye got damaged more than left, and if you're gonna speculate on that, he got poked in both eyes. The fact is his vision would get blurry the entire fight. And is that fair? Is that fair to continue like that? No. It's not a gladiator, dirty street fight bout. It's still a sport, and now they're trying to make it more of a sport rather than just having it dirty. Okay, so I think Tom had absolute right to, and his corner apparently told him that, probably showed him that no, you're not continuing, and that's completely fair to me because he can recover. They did no contest, so that's not disqualification. That is not automatic loss for Cyril either. They're gonna do rematch as soon as possible. That is maybe kind of both ways, even though I think it was completely wrong from the Cyril side. They kind of did it fair for the fans. Again, if race is better than Jones, why he keep losing to nobodies? Well, that's a good point actually. Race fighting the worst version of Jones. This is why MMA math doesn't work. Sometimes you show up with your best shape. Sometimes some things go wrong and you're not your 100%, and you still have to do that fight. Sometimes you win, and sometimes that costs you the win and you lose. And I can't say that Race is better than Jones, but in whatever setting that was, Race was one of the closest Jones fights. It is just the fact. But it was not good enough. It was not dominant enough from the Race side either to strip the champion from the belt, especially as dominant as Jones is, and give it to Race. Of course, that would never happen. Cope is embarrassing. You know what else is embarrassing? Completely disrespecting a person who actually steps in the octagon and like gets damaged in the eyes. You know, it's like risks their vision, and people just laugh about it. I think that is more embarrassing. To me, like my intention is to bring a little justice here. Cyril was winning before the eye poke. If you look at the stats, headshots, Tom was way ahead. Body shots and low kicks, Cyril was ahead. And essentially, it was super close. Look at the UFC stat. It was super close. And it was still like a 30 or something seconds left. That round could end as, well, maybe a slight advantage to the Cyril gun, but it doesn't determine the whole fight. Or Tom evening it out by getting more landed strikes on his behalf. One thing that I was sure, that would be a first fight for for Tom. That could be like interesting. That definitely wasn't necessarily a finish in the first round, and it could be entertaining. And I'm not saying Tom would win, but he definitely would lose with the blurred eyes in this situation. Seeing how Gunn was adapting, how he was countering. I think Tom would go for the more takedowns, more ground pressure. Essentially, would try to get him there, just to get submission, get the ground control. That would be the strategy. But striking-wise, good exchange both ways. Again, headshots, advantage on the Tom side, and the body and the leg kicks on the Cyrils. Again, keep scrolling up. Fans booing Tom during the post-fight interview is stupid. Tom did a right thing by standing up for himself. Title defense with the messed up eye, I ain't no joke. I completely agree with that. Yeah, it's not joke. And I'm happy for more reasonable people. I see more reason in the people who actually understand, whether they liked it or not. I think none of us liked the outcome, let's be honest. But you gotta respect that when it was an actual injury, and there was the slow motion proof that it was at the very least, his vision would be blurred the entire fight. You don't easily recover with such like. I got poked in my eye a couple times, not both, but like one, and it's a horrible thing. Like your eye is like swelling and like. You cannot focus. Like you really need to let it cool down and stuff. Well, how could he do that? That would be a huge disadvantage on the Tom side, and an absolutely unfair one. Gunn made his nose bleed. How the hell Tom will defeat the Jones? Come on, guys. If a little nose blood would determine a fighter winning or losing, so many fighters would, like, come on. I do remember just a recent fight, the Prohaska versus Roundtree. Like, just that one. He lost 2 rounds clear. Third round was bleeding, swelling. He just destroys him. there's so many, like that doesn't determine, because you can get knee and nose bleeding easily just with a couple straight accurate punches. And Cyril did a good job on the countering. I'm not being biased on that one. That's why it was very good, close round. And I think people were hyped. Okay, that's gonna get longer than just first round to Tom knocking out Cyril Gane, right? But then something else happened, and we were like, and people are speculating the way that, oh, he got the nosebleed, he got his eyes a little poked, or what a pussy. That is huge disrespect to an athlete. And only casual people do that. Like only people who ever did a proper hard thing, proper training, actual fight in their lives speak that way. Like I actually saw Cejudo's reaction, and he also got the eye poked one of his fights, and he's been saying that as much as like UFC is not happy, wow, that's unfortunate. Like, you know, he cannot say a lot of things like 100%. But because he's experienced, he actually been saying that it takes at least 15 minutes to kind of recover it, and you need to let it like swell down and, you know, wash it off, have it closed for a while, you know, like actually get some drops in your eyes. It couldn't happen possibly in a fight that had to last 20 more minutes. And if he continued the fight, Tom Aspinall would lose. And if he continued, people would say, oh, he got poked in the eye, that's unfair, or something. So I think they spared us that unfairness, and they're like, okay, no contest, as long as the Tom recovers, a rematch. If Tom retires, something, that is something else to talk about. But right now we can just speculate on that. What happened to him is completely unfair. She has been a lot of fights. She's Georgian champion of boxing and going pro soon, bro. She's not casual. Nobody she's actually know her shit. And I watch both mixed martial arts and boxing separately. And you can disagree with my opinion, but please bring up some facts, okay? He's reaching to grab and block because it's MMA. Eye pokes happen. Tom tried to bleed Gane a few times and it just didn't work. So yes, he's exposed. Tom cannot fight another MOBA go distance. First round, you see a lot of fighters adjusting, and by getting to their corner, adjusting to, like, first round cannot determine it, especially if it's close one. Okay, then what if he got exposed? You could see Khamzat versus Burns. You could see Khamzat's weaknesses, but did it stop him from getting dominating the division? The middleweight division? Not really. So it's a little bit of biased thing to say, in my opinion. And eye pokes happen. Did you see that eye poke? Come on, like, this is a bad habit. Even though it was unintentional, I'm not saying that it was intentional from Cyril's side, but the hand was fully opened. At least if you have, like, you can push it away like this. And it was double, and I cannot say if it's kind of just. I think it probably was inertia, but at least it is very bad habit on the Cyril side, and that same habit Jones had that same habit, and I think a lot of times he used that intentionally, not necessarily to kind of make someone blind, but kind of like, you know, create an advantage for themselves. So that shouldn't be like that attitude that, oh, eye pokes happen. No, we shouldn't justify it. We should be like, okay, that should be a disqualification actually, but no contest is also not bad. It shouldn't be giving you an advantage, making someone's vision blurry and then still continue fight and then win. This was the absolute worst possible timeline for bullshit narratives against Aspinall. Infuriating. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. And it's actually not like saying that Gunn is better. I think he was in his top shape. I think that could be a great fight. I think you never know, could go either way, because it could be a very good fight going either way. But in this case, knowing if Tom continued fighting after that poke, I 100% can tell you that he would lose, and that would be completely unfair. That would be complete unfair advantage to Gunn. And why I'm talking about things, it's not about talking shit about Gunn. It's more about kind of countering people who are like mocking someone who got like their eyes. We don't know. Like, we don't know the conclusion yet. At the very least, blur their eyes. Cannot continue fight. Pissed off. Do you think he wasn't pissed off? Do you think Tom was happy about? He already knew probably that people would boo him, and that's why he was like pissed. Like, why are you booing me? Did I do that? Things like that happen, and I think he already knew. Like, oh, okay, that was the worst timing probably. That's why the fairest thing to happen is to have a rematch once he's recovered, and I hope that doesn't happen again. Tom lost hope. Tom hit Gunn with a straight right, and Gunn ate it. Tom lost hope himself at the very moment. I don't think so. One thing, maybe Tom realized that the best is that, okay, that's not going to be like an easy fight necessarily, but they're professional fighters, guys. They have like a plan B and C, and they have their corners, and they have like, they trained for that. If you think that just because Aspinall pretty much finished everyone in the first round, doesn't train for 5 rounds, it's also a little bit not a good, not a very fair thing to think. Gunn eat like a high kick like it's a Kit Kat. Well, if you see carefully, he actually blocked it. That was a good high kick, but he blocked it. And I'm telling you, Gunn was doing great on the striking. Tom would try to go on the ground and pressure more and more, and try to go for on the ground to get the advantage, I think. Tom should have wrestled at the start. Well, but then people would say, oh, that would be another Hagen match. Like, MMA fans always gonna find something that they're not happy about. But I think we need to bring that thing a little bit, that let's respect fighters and let's actually break it down, what was actually BS and what was actually legit. And that's why I'm doing this live stream now. So I appreciate you guys being here. Guns resorted to dirty tactics because he didn't want to be in there with Tom. But that's also an unfair thing to say, because according to the first round, he was slightly ahead on the body shots and low kicks. On the head strikes, Tom was significantly higher. But that was like evening out, and according to the UFC stats, you could see that it was close round. So on the Cyril side, you also cannot, he just got dirty because like he was just that didn't want to be there. No, I think Cyril was quite comfortable, and Tom wasn't necessarily. Yes, he got his nose bleeding. He was doing still quite a good job. As I said, headshots, Tom's advantage, body kicks and low kicks, slight advantage to the Cyril side. That was a very close round. So that first round doesn't determine anything. We had to see more to actually see what happened. My personal opinion, if Tom would try to, once he would feel that, okay, Cyril is outstriking him, he would try to pressure him more and more and more and do the takedowns, get him on the ground. And we know that Aspinall is better on the ground than Gunn. Ganjap was tearing Aspinall's nose up, and that's why he puts it away of the fight. Again, another bias. Actually, when you're fighting and you're warmed up and there is adrenaline rush, it does not. The reason why a lot of fighters continue with broken noses, wrists, and ankles, because it's actually not that painful at the moment. It becomes way more painful once the adrenaline drops, and it does not. It does not do the pain-killing effect anymore. And then when the swelling happens and all that kind of stuff. So when you compare eye socket damage and like the eye poke comparing to nose break, as much as it's like painful and it's not good, it's different. It's still rather having unless it's like a full shattered bone like happened to Anderson Silva's shin, that was horrible. But if it's like just a crack or a break, a lot of fighters continue because they actually can. But when the eyes, when they got 100% like blurred, and you like every punch would just make it worse, and potentially more eye pokes. Come on, guys. If you cannot see, what can you do in a fight? Nothing. Shields, obviously, which is in the someone asked about me against Shields. So Shields would kick my ass, but she's also way bigger than I am. Weight category for once, and she's more experienced, but does not change the fact that she knows about fight. Dan is also a coach, so levels to this. Thank you. I love when my husband hypes me up, but I trained him. He saw how I train others, and I mean that's not me saying anything. That's others, and husband in this case saying his opinion. He learned good techniques from John Jones. Yeah, that's a funny one. Yeah, I understand. It wastes all of our time. I stayed till 4 a.m. in the morning to watch that fight. But it is what it is. Though, what do you think about Dern versus John Duraba? I think that was Dern, that was the most active paced fight out of the whole card. Dern's boxing is way more improved, striking is great, and was close fight, but Dern, to me, Dern won. It was close one. Shout out and props to Vidna, but Mackenzie did great job. I think she deserved that one. What do you think about that? Bro, Jones destroyed Gunn, and Gunn made Tom look basic when Jones gonna do, let's be honest, you all. As I said. Oh, man. Okay. Let's say Adesanya knocks out Pereira, and then Strickland knocks out Adesanya. What do you say about that? Or a boxing example that I did. So Ali loses to Fraser. Fraser loses to Foreman, and Ali wins over Foreman. What are you gonna say about that? Doesn't work. The math doesn't work. When it's like an elite level, things happen. They just do. Have a great insight. Well, it is what it is. I just try to be fair on that one. Okay, I was reading about Merab and Khalil and GSP, and it's like I think a little bit different weight classes. He didn't get poked. He literally felt his brain. Fair enough. It was deep as hell. That's what she said. UFC needs them as a poster boy. No. It would be unfair. And you know what? If that happened to Cyril, if that was vice versa, I would completely justify him quitting and they do no contest and they do the rematch. If that happened vice versa, I would be on the same stance, because you cannot just justify, oh, it's okay to poke eyes, it's okay to get that damage, and the fighter has to continue because people, some stupid fans don't call them a pussy. This is not a sport. This is not a sporting mentality, guys. That's completely wrong. Like, stop justifying illegal moves. Yeah, Dana confirmed for a rematch soon, as soon as the Tom recovers. Tom didn't even take the 5 minutes. The ref gave him the factor, cleared him, and he quit. It was almost 5 minutes or something. It was at least more than 4 minutes when I looked at the timer, and it wasn't getting better. Come on, what you're talking about? Probably also his corner gave him a sign that no, like, when your vision is blurred out, and you know that you cannot see 100%, you'll lose. I'll tell you, I use contact lenses. I have -5. If I take it out, my vision is super blurred. I have no chance as much as I have with the thing, and I'm willing to do an eye like a laser correction at some point, because even with the contacts, it's a little bit, I have focused a lot on my defense so the contacts don't slip in. It's a big disadvantage to get the blurred vision, and I almost can guarantee you when the fingers go that deep in the eye socket, you get that blurred vision. If not some permanent damage, hopefully he recovers soon. But that was a damage that could get worse and worse, because it's like a chain reaction. He could not defend himself, react properly. He would swallow way more punches, probably, maybe more eye pokes. You never know if Gunn would do the same stuff, and if everyone ignored that. Unnecessary damage, completely unfair advantage to Cyril Gunn, and resulting as a loss, like 100%. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Don't want to be way too behind on the chat. Okay, I'm just gonna continue from here. Jones is superior in every aspect of martial arts, hands down. Jones is one of the best fighting IQs out there, and he's been great, but he has his flaws. I'm reminding you guys, he had 3 failed drug tests. He has he played dirty many times with the eye pokes. That's Jones' invention. So even though he's great, and he's been great, especially in his prime, you have some controversies. 3 rounds, and Umar could barely breathe on the mic, and you could see him slow down. Yeah, that definitely wasn't even close to good enough to be able to beat Merab. And I'm sorry, but when Merab retires, I think Umar is one of the biggest contenders for the belt. No doubt on that one. But he couldn't. And Bautista almost did a leg lock, knocked him down with the high knee, wobbled him with on the striking with a couple times. So Umar just kept pushing on the ground, and he didn't manage to finish him. And he got out. Like, by the end of the 3rd round, he was almost dead. But barely talking on the mic, as you said. And that's a number 9 contender. That wasn't even remotely close to good enough to have a title shot with Merab. Okay, Merab will running through Umar again. Yeah, no, I'm not single. My husband is here in the chat. What do you think about Tom Cyril talking about it all this time? I think it was completely unfair. It's a bad move from the Cyril, whether it's intentional or unintentional, and it's absolutely normal. And if that happened vice versa, I would completely justify Cyril quitting and do the same outcome, having a known contest and then having a rematch. That's the most fair thing they could do. Real fighters lose the street fights all the time. You have heard of BG Pan because real street fights are dirty. Like guys, guns, knives, heavy subjects, but everything, few against one, just complete mess. Let's just not even get involved with the street fights here, okay? Okay, I'll keep scrolling up. He still won when it was fair point. The round one, they usually do non-contest unless it's at least more than halfway through the fight. First round, which was very close. Again, Aspinall had advantage on head strikes, Gunn had advantage on the body shot and the leg kicks, and it evened out almost slightly to the Gunn's advantage, but it was super close first round. And that, the only thing we can speculate on, that could be a very interesting fight and could go either way. I think Tom would try to put Gunn on the ground and try to regain the advantage from there. That's what I think would happen. But we never know because his eyes got taken out of his eye sockets. Bautista looked pretty good. Also, what do you think about Volkov decision? Volkov decision, again, that was the worst fight of the night, but Almeida was holding him. He was not going for submission. He was just holding him to the ground. Literally, the guy was holding, and Volkov was trying to punch and do some damage from the ground position. So, I thought they would give it just because of the control time, but I'm glad that the win went to Volkov, just because it was a good lesson that no, you cannot just use your BJJ to just hold your opponent without trying to submit or strike or do some damage, because they count the damage and applied damage and significant strikes and attempts rather than just holding a control time. Well, everyone who's just being super 100% sure in their conclusion and calling the names to them, any athletes and any fighters, I consider them casuals, because if you look at the professional fighters, so far I saw some of them being teasing just because of the hype, but they're usually you need to see the fighters of the outside weight classes, like Cejudo. Before starting this live stream, I saw Cejudo's reaction. He completely made a fair point both ways and brought up his experience, how much it sucks to get poked in the eye and how much your vision doesn't recover soon. 5 minutes is not enough. If it's a little bit rough, that's one thing. If you had such an impact as the Gunn did to Aspinall, that the whole fight, he just basically would have a blurred vision, and that's not fair. So professional fighters and trainers and coaches actually have a proper breakdown on it, and understanding that wasn't that was the fun, and that was not good. And casuals just calling names, and that's how it is. Okay, someone says shut up, and please don't say shut up neither way, okay? Don't say shut up to me, but also don't say shut up to someone who has the opposite opinion, because you can have an opposite opinion, but please bring up some facts. Okay. Tom won't be able to stay for too long. He got bad knees. Well, we'll see. To me, that first round was close. Definitely would be one of the toughest fights. It wouldn't be a first round finish for Tom. Absolutely. Cyril was in great shape. Would be a great fight, but Cyril needs to learn how to control his hands. Like this, like you might throw the punch and you can have a couple just one finger accidentally touching the eye, and that's okay. But when you have open hand and literally two fingers double pushing in, that's not correct. Like this is how he trains you. You want me to, like, he has his right hand, or I don't remember if it's house, but anyway, he has his like cross hand ready, and he has his jab like wide open hand. That's he needs to break the habit. That's not a good one. You're right, someone says. Well, thank you. See, desperate right now. Did you guys see UFC Merab's already fighting again? Yeah, with Merab is funny because like he's the only fighter who having the most title defenses. He's like fighting almost every other event, which is cool because some of the fighters you see like, oh, you wait for the fight for 2 years, a year, and then there is Merab who's like, I hope his health is good. I hope his team is smart about it because we don't want Merab to wear off too much. But as long as he's good and he's ready, I think he can be one of the greatest by the numbers and by proving it factually. Yes, double eye poke, bro, is worse than John Jones. Yeah, I don't remember any double eye pokes. Like I don't remember anyone else be poked like that with double, like that way, literally having, like grabbing the bowling ball. Tom's getting gassed and Gunn had already stopped his takedown. Again, still he wasn't gassed away. He still wasn't slowed down. A person can gassing out and had like a frequent racing, but there are fighters who like have the pulse high, but they still can push perfectly through fatigue and they're still sharp. So that was still not 100%. Like we could see maybe second round. In the second round, if the things change, if Tom would start slowing down, and that even more obvious on the heavyweights because they're big guys, right? Than like lighter weights, then that would be fair. But from this first round, except that there could be an interesting fight, and Tom was getting a very good resistance from the Cyril gun. Except that, sorry, my jaw hurting a little bit. Except that I don't think there is any valid speculation that we could make. Did you see Parker versus Varley fight? It was a boxing masterclass, way better than in that UFC event. Was it the prelims or it was somewhere else? Because I haven't seen that one. Though from the prelims, the Klein versus Rebetsky, like that was greatest fight to me. Klein, great boxing, super, and Rebetsky, super resistance, great pressure, and the work on the ground in the third round. Tom's movement was gone after 2 minutes. No, it wasn't gone. Neither of them were trying to go too hard because they were, once they realized that it's just gonna go longer than first round, you gotta pace yourself out. So it's completely fine to pace yourself down and let yourself recover a little bit. That's called pacing. Merab asked to fight again, and it's the right move for the UFC if a champ wants to fight. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Still feel like Jalon did more damage third round, but overall fight Volkov did more damage because of the first round. But also Almeida was holding him like pretty much entire time. Like literally he was holding his neck instead of trying to go on the significant like strikes. So I think it was a good lesson for him, and I'm glad the judges made that decision, even though there was the worst fight in the card. Yeah, my husband has a argument with someone in the chat, and well, yeah, you don't know him. My husband is a big guy and taught him how to throw punches. He's definitely been in the street fights, now training and doing like for amateur, but training, doing a good training. And yeah, don't be a keyboard warriors, okay? Be fair from both sides. Try to be fair. Let's talk about you. My name is Diana, and this is my channel. I think I have attention. But yeah, by the way, I'm also a personal trainer, and I also actually work with the pain release. So trigger spots and all that kind of stuff. So because of I took my braces off, I was chewing on this side for quite a long time. That created a little bit asymmetry, creating a tension on the opposite side. Now I tried to compensate it, but yeah, now I found the trigger spot right here in the spot in my jaw, like the joint. Yeah, so excuse me for being like this, but yeah, I'm just massaging that trigger a little bit. Darren was more of a savage than Tom. Did you see Darren's face, that savage look she had between rounds? No, ladies had the best fight and the highest pace. I mean, that was super high pace, okay? So I think they kind of saved it a little bit. But yeah, the Aspinall versus, again, it was close first round. A lot of speculations, but it was not Tom losing too much. Tom had bigger, more significant strikes on the in the head strikes, and Gunn had body kicks and low kicks on his side. So that's what numbers said. And then essentially it was slightly more on the Gunn side, but that didn't determine anything yet. Like you couldn't determine how it would go. As I said, Tom probably seeing how it's going, he would go more pressure, because in the first round there was no point going full in for and making yourself get tired unnecessarily for the takedown attempts. I think you would just pressure him, and that's what like if you see, Tom was pressuring more than Gunn. Gunn was working on the counters, and yeah, Tom would go more to essentially from the second round just get more a ground control time, and just make Cyril get tired there more. Also, pressuring is way more exhausting than countering. Countering actually is because you watch your opponent's movement and you counter those, so you just follow their movement. It's less tiring usually than pushing. Okay. People don't understand it's a dangerous sport that changes the fight trajectory, especially if the ref doesn't take away a point. Yeah, that's a good point. Agree. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. Don't want to be too behind. Prediction UFC 322 Della Maddalena versus Makhachev can go either way. Quite an exciting fight. Zhang Wei versus Valentina, I would go still for Valentina. Hi, what about the fight today? Time Master gave it up at Izzo. No, he and his team did the smart thing, and the judging was quite fair. No contest, so Cyril Gane also didn't suffer from didn't disqualify him. So essentially, they're just gonna do the rematch, and he better learn how to. There's nothing wrong for Cyril Gane winning. Nothing wrong with that. But don't do that dirty move, so he better work a little bit on that. I'm okay, except my jaw is a little bit tight, so I'm massaging the trigger spot here. Gane was leaning and ducking while Tom was kind of going for the throat. Tom was not pressuring enough like he usually does. Cyril was making him pay. Well, I think because he realized after that strike to his nose that if he wastes his energy in the first round and Gane would counter it properly, that wasn't the smartest move. I think he was just saving it for later rounds. That's it. That's what I saw. Rematch needs to be booked this year. Yeah, hopefully, because that's what. Except Merab, I think everyone is fighting not that often. Well, not everyone. I'm not going to talk about everyone, but I like Merab's mentality. Maybe not as many, but at least 3 fights a year is actually not bad. Okay, 2 at least is legit, especially for the champs defending their titles. But a lot of fighters continue. He was not injured, his vision was disturbed. A lot of fighters continue. But that's the thing, it's a title shot. And champion losing just because continuing doing a stupid thing, because it's not even his fault that he got Gane's eyes, and it was guaranteed that his vision would be blurred the entire time, and getting that type of disadvantage. You think that's fair? I think the way they evened it out, the way they did the no contest and planning the rematch is the most fair thing. And I think I wouldn't be frustrated that Gane got disqualified, because I think fighters who are having that tendency to having that open hand covering the face, I think they need to learn their lessons a little bit. Gane has not one single fight without using eye pokes or back of the head strike. Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying. That he has that as a habit already, and that's not good. Let it go, then Gane rematch. We'll see then. Yeah, I mean, fair point. Don't quit too easy. I think guys don't understand that you actually, the one of the main things you need to actually have a chance to win is your eyes, your 100% vision. Cyril Gane was winning. He did not need to eye poke Aspinall. It was a very close round. The reason he was winning, he had more significant strikes on the body and the low kicks. When it comes to the head, Aspinall had more landed head kicks. Go look at the stats. And well, stats are not 100% correct, but though Aspinall, Gane still did a good job with the countering. There are a couple or 3 good, right crosses that landed on Aspinall's nose, and he started bleeding, which is fine. That happens in the fight. But Aspinall had more advantage on the head. That's why it was close, and it could even out very easily. Like people saying that, oh, he was completely losing, and it was like Cyril was winning like fair and square, or even Tom winning fair and square. That's just not that. That's not true. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the stats. Go rewatch the moments. Yeah, I think Tom circling around and being countering very well. I think he was well prepared, and for Tom realized straight away that okay, it's not going to be easy one. So I think a lot of things that trying to pace it out, not going too hard, not going too aggressive on the first round, that was a smart thing because you have 20 more minutes ahead. But then the spoke happened, and that's not good. What do you do for a living? I'm doing some personal trainings online, self-employed for many years, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do. But clearly attempting to paint a picture that didn't happen. With strikes, significant strikes were 30 when the end, and Gunn cheated. I don't know. But like the UFC stats that I watched was the significant strikes. That's total average, but they were split. There was a separate head, body, and low kicks. 3 separate. The head-wise, 51% against 27 on the Tom side, and then you had advantages on the body kicks, and then as an average, and resulted as the Guns slightly winning that, but it was close round. It was close round, which was not necessarily determining how it would go. As I said, Tom would probably try to go for the ground because striking-wise, Cyril was doing a very great job. He was countering, he was not wasting his energy that much, and that was smart. Just this eye poke and having an open hand and doing that pretty often, come on, that needs to be punished, guys. That needs to be punished so fighters learn how to keep their hands at least like this, so you prevent the bowling ball catch. You like Mackenzie Dern? Yeah, I like her. She's pretty. She's cool, but she showed in that fight that she improved a lot. With Murad fighting next, I think it's already signed Piotr Jan, second rematch. Yeah, this thing. And what happened? He lost. He lost against the. Always keep forgetting that guy's name, but he was a cheat. Multiple drug test failures. Actually, got failed the drug test after the Aspinall fight. It was an eye poke, but then it was the head bump that was result in the retinal disturbance. And what? Was it good? Not really. Was it fair? Absolutely not. Cameron needs a 50k bonus for Mackenzie Dern. Not only that one, I think he did great with the fights too. I think we all enjoyed the view. No, it's an accidental strike. Well, even if it's an accidental strike, when you have that habit, that's not good. Judges are not crowd. They have a criteria to follow, not perfect, but they should remain impartial and fair. Well, I think that's what they've been trying to do, and that's UFC. Like, it's not, I don't know, boxing. Boxing is, in my opinion, way more rigged than UFC because it's like a closed organization. Yes, they're favorites. Yes, of course, if it's champion against a contender, if it's a very close fight, they're still gonna favor champion, and those things happen. We know that. But if a contender actually gets a slight visible dominance, and number wise and the performance wise, there are many fights that are been taken away that way from the champs. Agreed, cannot do much if you cannot see. Just a sitting duck. Okay, keep scrolling through the chat, guys. Yeah, sitting duck, but not as stuck duck like some others. All those talks. We're all entitled to our opinions, it's fine, then we're free to talk about it. Just what I disagree, what I really dislike is fans being so, almost looking at this like a video game or something, or WWE, which is hard, but again, it's staged. Come on, guys, this is like, respect an athlete, respect their commitment, and when they actually get injuries, and if actually something prohibited and unfair happens, point it out. Don't call names. Like, this is one of my points, one of the reasons I am doing this live stream here. The entertainment first, UFC has shown the time after time take Jones' fight out of California, Vegas, or New York because of the rules. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. Jones being shielded by Dana quite a long time, but what happened when he actually started sitting on his title and just refusing doing frequent or at least reasonable rematches and all that kind of stuff? He got striped of his silo. Like, essentially, no matter who you are, one day you just stop being favored. It just happens. You gotta keep entertaining. Biggest shot, probably would indicate Gunn would take first round. You are correct, Diana. Okay, but anyways, guys, I'm gonna restart that stream. Just come back and yeah, let's keep talking about it.